This is the all-new Community Connection. I'm your host, Jade Harrell, keeping you connected to our community. Well, the doors are open, the lights are on, and the popcorn is popping. The cinema, the 24/1 cinema is now open, a project developed by Beyond Housing and the Community Land Trust. We are so excited to have President and CEO Chris Kramer joining us in the studio today with not only the update about the theater, but all that is happening in and around the community of 24/1. Chris, welcome back.
Great to be here, Jay. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you gracing our airwaves again. Tell us about this 24/1 cinema.
24/1 Cinema on the corner of Page and Ferguson in Pagedale. It's been open for almost a month now. First run movies. Ticket prices beat everybody in the region. It's our community's movie theater. You don't have to go to the Esquire. You don't have to go to the Galleria. Bless them, but you know what? Right. You don't have to go there anymore. You can come to a movie theater, first run movies, brand new building, best looking theater, I think, in St. Louis.
Very nice.
Come and check it out.
Sure.
If you want to give back, if you said, I wish I could do more, I wish I had more time, I get it. We're all busy doing our lives. But if you want to help, because if you buy a ticket and when you buy popcorn and when you buy your soda and when you get your candy at our movie theater, part of that money goes back into our community. Part of it goes back into how do we create strong families? How do we create successful communities? How do we create the kinds of things that we all want for our children and for our neighborhoods? And if you do that to our movie theater, which currently is running Creed, The Good Dinosaur, The Night Before, and Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2.
Yes.
All the biggest movies in the country are at the 24/1 Cinema.
That's right.
When you come in and participate and buy your ticket and enjoy a night of affordable entertainment, you're investing in this community.
You most certainly are. It almost seems too good to be true. First of all, we're looking at first run. And let's face it, our community didn't even have a bank at one point. Our 24/1 community didn't even have a bank. It seemed as if we were left for the leftovers and the afterthoughts. To place this community forefront and treat it like first class, important, we matter citizens. Talk about the value of that and how this communicates that and resonates that by having this theater. So
when we did the grand opening of the movie theater, I was reminded of the famous Robert Kennedy quote, where he goes, some people see things the way they are and ask why, and other people dream of things that might be and ask why not. We're part of the why not crowd, right? Why not have a first-run movie theater in our community, right? Folks go see movies. Why can't we have a movie theater in our community? Well, you know what the counter argument is and the why not. Safety, it's not profitable, all the things that you've heard over the years, especially in the position that you're in. Well, they go from, stereotypes and innuendos to somehow being the truth. And the reality is when you do the analysis of who goes see movies, guess what? Folks in our community go see movies at a higher per capita basis than most anybody else in the region.
Yeah.
And where are they going? They're just not coming to our community, right? So again,
it's not there.
It's not there, right? So again, we were able to put the financing together. Says yes, we can have a movie theater here. We used new market tax credits thanks to U.S. Bank, Enterprise Bank. We got support from Wells Fargo. We got support from the Port Authority in St. Louis County, right? So we put the resources together to make this thing happen. And the 24/1 Community Land Trust, which owns the building, invested their dollars as well, right? So again, the Land Trust's sole existence is to develop property and reinvest in the 24/1 footprint, right? So it's again a unique model, and the Land Trust is governed by folks who live in community.
That's right.
Right. So this is a much different model about how do we invest in ourselves? How do we reinvest in our community? If we're going to spend a dollar, let's spend it in our community.
Yep.
Why spend it in somebody else's community? The grocery store, another great example, right?
Very much.
5 years in operations now, increase in sales over 35% over the 5-year window.
Is that right?
It's tripling the year-to-year increase in sales and the rest of the Save a Lot inventory, right? So we're doing better than, because guess what? Folks got to eat.
They got to eat.
Right? And
they're going to eat.
And the store is attractive and the store is good looking and the food there is high quality. I go there twice a week.
Fresh produce. Oh, please. That's on my way home. So
stop
you
there
already
all the time.
I hit the same four corners.
and after 5 years, the store is still clean. After 5 years, the outside is still clean. We have had almost no vandalism. Yes, some stuff walk from Save a Lot, but guess what? No different than any other Save a Lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like everybody else. There's nothing special. There's nothing bad happening here, right? We're debunking all the myths. The bank, Midwest Bank Center, opened up a full service bank. Right now, after 3 years, their depository balance is 300% above their projections. They've shortened their break-even point from 5 years to 3 years.
Wow.
It works. It can work.
So like you said, this is a model of what's real. And it's a story that has not been told. This is why I'm very excited that you came and made time to be able to share this information, because you're not hearing this in mainstream. You're just not hearing the news, but especially these numbers. This model has been developed over time. Now, share a little bit more about Beyond Housing for any listeners who may have heard the name but need to understand what you're about.
So we've been around for over 40 years now. We believe in the notion that home matters. And yes, home is the place you go home to every night, where you rest your head. And so we produce housing. We own over 400 units of affordable rental housing. We give out owner-occupied home repair grants. We produce units for home ownership. So we do a lot of creating the space where you go home every night. But we know home is much more than that. Home is the life in and around where you live that fuels and draws the best out of the people that live there. We think if we're going to make place better, one, you got to pick a place, right?
Right, and have some place.
For us, it was the boundaries of the Normie School District, because we think at the core of a strong community is a strong public education system. We know all the troubles and travails of Normandy over the last several years, but they're getting better. Not unlike the great success Jennings has had. Riverview Gardens is getting better. St. Louis public schools are getting better. Normandy is on that same trajectory. So what we've said is, if we're going to create a strong and vibrant community, listening to the voice of the people that live there, and they told us we want better housing, we want better education, we want better health, we want better access to jobs, and we want more economic development. So for us is, how do we work with community leaders, how do we work with other stakeholders and make those things happen?
Right.
So we're about building housing. We're about bringing grocery stores, banks, movie theaters. We're about partnering with the Normandy School District. Today we have 13 employees embedded in the Normandy schools, family engagement liaisons who work with families, counselors, teachers, and find out what are the challenges and what are the needs, and how do we fill those needs, not only with Beyond Housing, but quite frankly with all of our not-for-profit friends. How do we align resources together to bring them to the table to make sure the children can be successful at the schools? This year, for the fourth year in a row, every kindergartner entering Normandy gets a $500 529 Missouri College Savings Account.
I just saw that.
Every child.
Every child.
So right now,
Right
now we have over 1,100 kids have a $500 Missouri Most College Savings Account.
And if they're starting at kindergarten, by the time they're ready for college, that's going to be a substantial mark for them to get there.
And more importantly, what the research says, Jade, is that the kids have a different perspective about what's possible.
Yeah.
And their family members, their caregivers, the adults around them say, you know what, why not go to college? Why can't you go to college? You should be able to do that if that's what you want to do, right?
And you can set that intention early on. We also just received some funding to offer every high school student, almost 700 of them at Normandy High School, $250 Missouri Most College Savings Account. Everybody. Everybody gets one. Everybody.
Because guess what?
Normandy,
you're important. You have value, and you get to go. If you want to, you get to go to school. And here's a little bit of support to make that happen. In addition to that, we got funding for ACT prep.
Yes.
Because again, understand. So again, we're investing in our children to say, you have great value. You can do great things. Our job as adults is to give you the resources for you to be successful.
Absolutely. And so I'm looking at this, and every area that you said that people wanted. Now, first of all, we got to acknowledge that you went to ask. That's something that you don't hear often. The organizations are addressing issues, but I don't often hear, first off, that we're asking what the people we're trying to help need or want. And then secondly, what they want makes sense. You don't hear that this is exactly what everybody else wants. The myth, the stereotypes, the misinformation makes it as if this is not what the people even want.
Well, again, our foundational belief is we work for community, and we operate on this continuous circle of ask, align, and act.
Ask, align, and act. Break that down for us. So
ask the community, right? Folks who live here, one, know what the challenges are, but more importantly, they know what the solutions are.
Yeah. But how did you get them talking about it?
Well, look, you got to keep asking. You got to keep being there, and you have to earn trust, right? And trust does not come because you show up one day, say, I'm here to help, right? Folks have seen...
With a shovel.
Oh my God. Well, and look, the reality is folks have seen lots of well-intentioned folks roll up in community, say, I'm here to help. They're here for a little while, do a few things, and then leave. Yeah. So they are appropriately jaded about... hate to use that negative connotation for your lovely
name. I jade
name.
them for the good. I jade them for the good.
But again, they're always suspect of folks who show up.
Yeah.
And look, suspect of a guy looks like me.
Well...
white guy in a suit shows up and he say he's here to help. So again, they are appropriately suspect until you prove time and time and
folks
time
are still, again. The jury's still out on whether or not you're officially.
Well, we'll let that jury stay out for now. So what we try to do is show our commitment and our respect to the people that we serve. So we're here all the time. We're consistently here. We haven't gone away. We keep showing up. We're not perfect. We've made some mistakes over the years. We've raised our hand and said sorry about those mistakes.
That's huge.
Well, again, I think it's real important. If you have a real relationship with folks, it's okay to be vulnerable with them.
Yeah.
And say, sorry, I made a mistake. I won't make that same mistake again.
That's right.
But we're human, and I can't promise you I won't make another mistake, but we won't make that one again.
Right.
And we'll keep working hard at doing the kinds of things that we pledged to you that we would do.
Sure.
So for us, it's, again, keep being in community, keep listening, keep delivering, and again, be consistent, because the notion that again we live by is community building happens at the speed of trust.
Yeah.
Right. So we're starting to see some acceleration of community building efforts in 2024 because trust is building. People are believing. People are seeing hope. Right. When you see buildings alone aren't going to change a place. Right. But buildings are clearly a visible sign of, wow, something's happening here.
It really is. And you can see that. Here. So you asked, and then the align.
Align, the resource that's needed and necessary to get it done. Right. So folks went to a grocery store like, okay, so how do we do that, right? We don't know anything about a grocery store 5 years ago. So we started asking questions, getting people to help us, getting people who have the knowledge, and then finding the dollars to make it happen. Align the resources to get it done. In addition to that, we're also aligning resources as it relates to serving children and serving communities. So in the region, we're not want for folks who have great programs that do good things.
That's true.
What we don't have is all those organizations in the same place working together.
That's very true.
So a great example for us is our 5 by Age 5 space, where we've brought together a whole lot of folks in the pre-K space saying, if you're working in the 24-month footprint, come to our common table. And let's start having some conversation about who you're serving, what are you doing, what are the gaps, do you have any slots in your programs where we can get more kids there, do you have any other needs, and how do we actually work together to ensure that the families and the children in our footprint can raise their hand and say, I have this need, and we collectively can say, we got you covered.
We got you covered. So that's aligning those resources.
Whether that's
beyond dollars.
Nurses for Newborns, Parents as Teachers, the St. Louis County Health Department, the Bell Center, University of Missouri, St. Louis College of Education. Yeah, we've got the Head Start.
Yeah.
I mean, a whole bunch of folks for 3.5 years around a common table and energized about, look what we can do together.
Yeah, and at that critical early ages. For children to make the impact.
The absolute most important stages. We work with United for Children with 12 of pre-K facilities in our footprint, serving over 800 kids, preparing them not only for life, first and foremost, but also preparing them for the first day of kindergarten. Because Normandy has told us more than half the kids that show up the first day of kindergarten are not ready. They are not ready socially and emotionally, and they are not ready from a cognitive standpoint, right? So our children deserve to be ready for life. Yeah, they do. So first and foremost, I don't care where they go to school, we should give them what they need to be successful in life. But for our particular work in Normandy, the school district, how will the school district ever get accreditation? Right. And even past accreditation to have 100% of the kids be ready for the rest of their life if when they show up at first day of kindergarten, you're behind,
first day,
right?
You're behind, right?
You're behind the first day of kindergarten. You're behind.
Doesn't work, right?
Right. It just doesn't work. So
maybe play catch up, but from there, if it's all about learning and inputting.
So we've been investing with United for Children in working with our pre-K providers. The biggest thing we're doing there is teacher training. Over 40 teachers have gotten 120 hours each of early childhood development training.
Excellent.
Again, to serve our children well. A data point that came out last month, a part of our work with Nurses for Newborns and the Health Department and a number of others. Over the last 4 years, the infant mortality rate in our two zip codes, 63133 and 63121, went down 30% and 20% respectively.
And
dramatic
I just
drops.
had that interview about premature birth, and statewide, we didn't score very well. And that is very promising to hear what a tremendous increase and change in those numbers. That's powerful.
It's a powerful change. And at the end of the day, what it means is fewer babies are dying.
Right.
Right. We had an infant mortality rate that was nearing a third world country. Right. Mm-hmm. So now not only do we have fewer babies dying, but we have fewer babies that are being born at a low birth weight.
Right.
So even if,
again, by the time kindergarten gets here,
right,
we've got the babies to show and healthy, vibrant, capable babies to begin this journey in their lives.
It's an affirmation that this work is possible,
and it's working.
It's just hard, right? And it's not an easy path. It's not an easy journey, but it is possible, right? Yeah. And I think in this post-Ferguson world that we live in. When you look at the Ferguson report and when you look at the key areas that there suggest that we as a region need to look at, with a racial lens, there's not much of that in the 24-1 initiative that we're not touching.
Wow. Then hopefully they're seeing the model that's happening there and can utilize it. I know you've been very helpful in consulting in D.C. and all across the country, actually, and Missouri as well. So, I mean,
we're always happy to tell people, what we've learned over the years.
So,
if folks are interested, we're always happy to share our story. We got work to do. I mean, we've been asked to do a number of things, and we've said no to a lot of things because our work's not done. Mm-hmm. Right? Our goal is to first and foremost help this community be what they want to be. But what we want to do as a secondary goal is create a model that's replicatable.
Yeah.
And we can't take our eye off the prize right now, right? We wanted to submit to help the Ferguson Commission carry out, their big, audacious goals for the region. But we said, look, we don't have the capacity, and we're not done with where we're at in our community.
Good for you.
So, as much as my heart says I want to do that because I think nobody knows this space better than us.
Right.
But there's no way we could take on that huge project without losing some momentum in 24-1. And we're just not going to do that. We're not going to do it.
That's that old adage of you can better care for and serve others from a healthy place yourself. So starting there would be an excellent way to create the change that they're hoping to see.
Yep.
Well, we're happy to see it. Send out the invitation to take a look what's happening, what's next,
for
us to plug in.
The 24-1 Cinema, go to 24-1cinema.com, 24-1cinema.com. You can buy your tickets online. You can see what's coming. You can call 721-2241. See what movies are, see showtimes. Star Wars is coming just around the corner. Going to be a big, giant blockbuster that's scary Christmas movie called Krampus. I just saw the reviews for it. I don't do scary movies, but that's coming to the theater as well. Ticket price is $750 for adults, $450 for kids and seniors. Best ticket price in the St. Louis region. Come support and invest in a community here in the region. Don't send your money to some corporate entity someplace else. If you're going to see a movie, come to 24-1 corner of Page and Ferguson, easily accessible from lots of different places. Yeah. During the holiday season, again, if you want to help us, call 533-0600. We have about another 100 families that we're trying to get gifts for the holiday season. So if folks are interested in participating, adopting a family, call 533-0600 and ask about the Holiday Friends program and get you plugged in, whether it's you as a family, your church, your corporation. Love to have you help us make the holidays a little bit brighter for families that we serve.
How wonderful. And always you can find out more information and keep up with all the great activities at beyondhousing.org. Chris Kramer, President and CEO of Beyond Housing, thank you as always.
Always great to be with you, Julie.
All right, that's it for this week. If you have questions or comments or have something you'd like to include in the community calendar, you can leave a message on our message box at 314-333-8369, 314-333-8369. And for more information about our show or any of our guests, you can visit us online and listen to the podcasts at Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com. And search Community Connection with Jade Harrell. You all be blessed, do blessed, and take care.